How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to part 2 of my backyard studio build. So some of you may have watched part 1. If you haven't already, check it out in the link below. I'll have that in the description below this video as well. So in part 2, we're going to take a deeper dive into some of the construction that I did inside my studio and diving in deeper to a lot of the soundproofing. Part 1 was more about the actual building up of the structure itself. So in this video, it should be a little more interesting with some of the technical work with the soundproofing specifics. Before we jump into the video, I just want to say I do have a free soundproofing course in the description below. Check that out if you want to take a deeper dive. And until then, let's jump right into the video now. All right, first day of 2020 on the build, January 8th. And we got windows put in today. We had the electricians come by and run wires throughout the entire studio and the shed in the backside. And we're just right now finishing up the back shed roof. So feeling good about 2020. Gonna get this project finished and enjoy the rest of this journey through building a studio in the backyard. All right, so today was a cold one again. About 30 degrees all day, but it felt good. Mainly we were just cutting the siding to go right underneath the eave of the roof, and then we started doing the soffits today as well. So we were cutting the soffits using the special saw blade and wearing masks and eye protective wear because that stuff is nasty for your lungs. And so we were just working through the soffits. It's a lot of technical cuts, so it took some time. We also finished the last window opening on the outside, creating these Ryman style windows like the Ryman Auditorium here in Nashville. So still working on the exterior. We're hoping to get the outside siding on this Friday. All right, stay tuned. All right, so today we dug a 2-foot trench to run the electrical through the attic from the panel on the other side of my house. And then that's going to run up the side of the studio, and we're going to put a separate sub panel back there. We also put the roof cap on the house so that it's vented, and finished some of the soffits around the underside of the back side of the studio where the shed is going to be. It was a long day. It was a back-breaking day, a lot of hard labor, but a lot of good stuff done today. All right, so we finished the siding on the front here, finished the door the other day, and we're working on the siding on the shed part of the studio over on the other corner here. And yeah, just working slowly but surely, getting it done. All right, so today we are doing the awning. I'm gonna finish that right behind me, do the uprights, the 45-degree angles for the awning, and then we're gonna work on the door, which is gonna be a great experiment, putting the LED on the back of the door. And we'll go into detail about that later. Beautiful day here in Nashville, so stay tuned. All right, so we are putting the LED on the door right now. We found that rolling it out and then hammering it is pretty much the best option at the moment. So yeah, we're just taking a 2x4, hammering on top of it, on top of a piece of plywood, and then we're going to try and attach it to the door. All right, so we are here on a day I've been waiting for a long time. We're going to start the actual sound isolation side of the building project. So this basically is the day where we're going to start to build those inside walls. Right now we've cleaned out the space. It's ready to go. We took all the stuff that we were storing in here and put it in the shed on the other side of the building. And we're going to start building the inside walls and take you along for the process of how we're going to do that. Enjoy. All right, so we are finishing up the day here, packing up, but we put in the studs today for the second wall. Is super exciting. So what we did is we lined up each of the studs, we put in our bottom plate, screwed that into the concrete, put our padding layer underneath so that the treated wood is connected, not touching the concrete, and we drove in some concrete screws in there to lay that down. But what we did is we used these special IB3 clips from the soundproofing company to screw into our top plate beams, and then we used 2.5-inch wood screws to go down into those IB3 clips and then also into the paneling beside them. I'll show you guys that in a second here. And we just lined up the walls like you would do normal framing for the outside, but this doesn't have a load on it, so it's a little bit easier. We didn't have to put as much structural support. So we'll do some more the next week, and then we'll be finished with our inside walls. So here's our putty pad on one of the biggest outlet boxes. We're gonna leave a little space here where the drywall, 2 layers of 5/8 inch drywall is gonna come, and we're gonna use acoustic caulk to seal that up. So that should create a pretty solid seal, and then the part that's just gonna be insulation or essentially air, we're putting that putty pad around it. And you just had to kind of break it up, and it's like playing with Play-Doh. Make sure you get the whole backside too. And the underbelly, and I can't really get up in this side here very easily, so just doing the best I can. Got some left over. It's really helpful to use a razor blade to cut it. So here's the putty pad on a ceiling light. We've got it recessed about 1 1/4 inch so that the drywall will stick out over that part, and we'll use acoustic caulk to seal that up. But the backing side and even under in there, I used just a painter's dowel to kind of push it up in there, which is kind of tricky. But I think if you can, getting any airspace is the goal. So as best as you can, sealing up that whole backside, is pretty easy to work with. Shouldn't be too hard. And using a X-Acto knife to cut it out, and you can even measure the sizes you need or just eyeball it. It's pretty malleable. So that's the light switch. I decided to throw the putty pad on our wire outlet. This is fire rated, so I think it should be actually helpful in case there ever was a fire. And I also think it's going to close up that hole on the outside. So I had some left over, so I decided to just use the extra on the outside holes. And I might end up using it again down there. We'll see, or we'll use acoustic caulk of some kind. And then there's another hole over there. So we are doing the HVAC piping install today, and you're going to see we're going to try to drill it through the double studded walls, through the middle there, creating a hole where we're going to run the pipe through. So we will take you on that journey and let you know how it turns out. Going to unroll the HVAC refrigerant line. Got about 25 feet here. So here we drilled a hole to get the HVAC line out to where the condenser will be on the other side. Just be careful when you're moving these around so you don't accidentally pinch the tubing on the inside. So just be gentle with the curves. Here is the condensation tube that we just ran through there and then out the bottom. Here's the 2 refrigerant lines and our power cable for the condenser. All right, so today I'm finishing up insulation and putting a bunch of these black vents in to create airflow from the soffits on the outside. It's going to go up across the top of the vents, or top of the roof canopy, to little tiny air holes that are in the top of the roof, where there's going to be airflow from the bottom to the top. And that's essential so that we can get you don't get a stale air building up in the top there. So let me just show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about here. So we're taking these vents, just plastic vents, and then I've put in a few already, and they come all the way down and then meet the soffits over there. And I still got to do a bunch more in here. It's not the most fun work, but it's gonna be good. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something new, or at least gained a few more insights into how to build a soundproof studio in your backyard.
Again, if you want to learn even more, check out my free soundproofing course in the description below. I have new videos coming out about soundproofing every single week on Monday, so definitely check that out as well by subscribing and liking and joining our community of soundproofing enthusiasts. All right, until next week, I will see you all later.